Hey guys, Joey from Class J Video Productions here. Just going to make a quick video on some radios and external speakers, something a little bit different than usual. Also, happy St. Patrick's Day since today is March 17th. And this is my usual radio that I use. It's a Yaesu FT4XR. It's a little bit smaller than your typical Baofeng. A little bit easier to program too, and it's a 1-watt speaker, and I actually did a decibel test on it, and it gets 73 decibels at the highest volume 1-watt speaker. Over here is a Radio Shack 21-549. You can't get these anymore, obviously, because Radio Shack folded a number of years ago. I think you can probably get them used every once in a while online. But as far as everything else is concerned, you probably can't get it anywhere else. But, yeah, so there's that. And with this at full volume, I actually measured an entire 11 decibel difference from the same distance. That's right, 84 decibels at full volume. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the NOAA Weather channel from Wakefield, Virginia, and I'll let you hear the difference.
Saturday, northwest winds 15 to 20 knots, becoming north 10 to 15 knots in the afternoon. Waves around 2 feet, diminishing to 1 to 2 feet in the afternoon. Rain, mainly in the morning. Saturday night, southwest winds 5 to 10 knots, becoming northwest 10 to 15 knots with gusts to 20 knots after midnight. Waves less than 1 foot in light chop, increasing to 1 to 2 feet after midnight. Sunday, northwest winds 10 to 15 knots with gusts to 25 knots. Waves 1 to 2 feet. Sunday night, north winds 5 to 10 knots. Waves less than 1 foot in light chop. Monday, northeast winds 5 to 10 knots. Waves less than 1 foot in light chop. Tuesday, northeast winds 10 to 15 knots, diminishing to 5 to 10 knots after midnight.
So as you can hear, that's pretty loud. But when you plug it into this little input right here, it gets really, really loud.
Roads Bridge Tunnel. Small craft advisory in effect until 2 a.m. Saturday. Through 7 p.m., southwest winds 15 to 20 knots with gusts to 25 knots. Winds 2 to 3 feet. A slight chance of rain. Tonight, southwest winds 10 to 15 knots with gusts to 20 knots, becoming northwest late. Waves 1 to 2 feet. Rain. Saturday, north winds 10 to 15 knots with gusts to 20 knots, becoming west in the afternoon. Waves 1 to 2 feet. Rain likely in the morning. Saturday night, west winds 10 knots, becoming northwest 15 to 20 knots with gusts to 25 knots after midnight. Waves 1 to 2 feet. Sunday, northwest winds 15 knots with gusts to 25 knots, diminishing to 10 knots in the afternoon.
So yeah. Now there are other actual brands of these speakers you can get. This is one I've actually considered possibly upgrading to, and here I'll go ahead and switch my my shutter speed so there's not so much flickering and everything. There we go, that's a bit better. This is a MFJ clear tone speaker. MFJ 281 is the model number, and it used to be $12.95, and as you can see, good old inflation has taken over and now it's twice that price. If you look at it on eBay and some other sites, it actually can be even higher than that. Not sure why, because the condition is used, so I don't know why it would be higher. But I guess some people opt for that. Now there are some brands that have actually imitated the design of that, and it's just a rebadge variant. This is an 8-watt speaker, so it's 3 watts higher than the Radio Shack model. Here's one of the rebadge variants. This is a DXE 281 from DX Engineering. Also has the 281 model number, so it's basically the same speaker. Also 8 watts, just has a different branding on it, different logo. Made in Taiwan, and those are typically pretty good products. Nagoya is made in Taiwan, so those are typically good. They make, you mostly know them from antennas and all. I actually really like the cord that comes with this speaker. It looks a lot more, it actually, I think, looks nicer than the one that came with the Radio Shack. I mean, the Radio Shack one, I don't know, it just kind of, I don't know, it's thinner or something. This looks like it could take more of a abuse or what. Not that I would try to abuse the product, but just looks like it could take more. But yeah, so there's that. But anyway, going on eBay, there's a brand called President and Workman. Y'all have probably seen these before. Real popular with rail fans. There are a lot of companies that have actually rebranded this design as well. This is a 6-watt speaker, nominal, maximum 12 watts. So it's even higher than the MFJ and the DX Engineering. So this one's really powerful. It's actually new, $25, so it's the same price as the MFJ new. I'm busy. Hold on, but anyway, so there's that. Xing that out. Here's one of the rebranded variants of that speaker, Astatic. Now you can see, like I said, pretty much identical. It's got the Astatic branding, and it's got this little button on the side. You can't read it, but right above it, it says noise canceller. I'm not sure how well that actually works, nor am I sure how good that speaker is as opposed to the President speaker, but the grill's identical, the design's identical, so there's a chance that it might be the same or about the same. So, yeah. And let's see what else. There's these style speakers too that have been popping up, and this is made by Nagoyant, but I just don't think these look very good quality. I mean, the speaker itself just looks kind of cheap. I could be wrong in just judging a book by its cover. I don't know. But a friend of mine actually has one of these speakers, and that's got a really good sound chip in it. That one's nice. Now, of course, the speaker that I said looks really cheap, one of them's got a noise filter on it, but again, I don't know, it just doesn't look like very good quality to me. However, here's one from a brand called Aries, which I had never heard of until I looked on here. That looks very similar to the Radio Shack brand one that I have now. And let's see what else. There's an MFJ for $34, which is even higher than the list price. Here's a Jetstream, which also appears to be a carbon copy of an MFJ 281 and DXE 281. Same style, same casing, just with the Jetstream logo on there. So that's pretty interesting. The company Midland also makes a speaker. Unit and Bearcat. Let's see, who else? Yeah, there's all kinds of different. Radiality makes them. And yeah, there's a ton of different manufacturers. Now here's a Midland right here. In fact, there's a couple of Midlands on here. Now keep in mind with Midland, they make good speakers, but as far as their radios are concerned, I would not recommend getting a Midland radio because I don't think they actually have any that are tuned for the railway band. So if you're thinking about getting a Midland radio for rail fanning, don't, because I don't believe they have any tuned for the rail fan band. But as far as the speakers are concerned, they look pretty nice. This one's a little beat up. There's another one on here that's actually in better condition, but you can see it's built well. And that little switch on there is actually a noise filter, which is a nice feature as well. But one other thing I wanted to get in before I close this video is I also have this Baofeng. It's a UV5RX3, and it's got an extended life battery on it, so that's why it looks bigger than usual, because the battery is right here. Now, this is a collaboration radio between Radiality and Baofeng, and it has an input on the side, and you can somewhat fit this wire, this 3.5 millimeter jack, into here. But keep in mind, this connection will not work with Baofeng radios. I've tried it with a BF-F9 V2 Plus, which I still have, but the volume control's all messed up on it, and it doesn't receive like it used to, which is why I got this as a replacement. But yeah, so
Southwest wind 10 to 15 knots, becoming northwest 15 to 20 knots late. Waves 2 to 3 feet. Rain. Saturday, north winds 15 to 20 knots with gusts to 25 knots, becoming west 10 to 15 knots in the afternoon. Waves 2 to 3 feet. Saturday night.
you can hear that's really loud even with an external speaker. So I suppose you're wondering, well, if you can't use an external speaker, what do? Well, what you have to do is you have to get one of these 2-pin Kenwood style things that's the same that you would use for the Chirp software to program on the computer. You plug it in like so, and I think I'm doing this right. It's a little weird doing it this way, but yeah, just like this. I think the small one on top, or the small one on top, big one on the bottom. Yeah, you have to push it kind of firm. Yeah, like that. But then, and there's a lot of these very similar to them online, but you have to get one of these pretty much. Now, keep in mind, I would strongly recommend for you to disable the transmit on one of these, because it's inevitable that you're going to end up brushing against the transmit button, and it's going to transmit on the railroad channel. And I mean, it's never really happened to me, but you know, that's the bad thing about these Baofeng and Radiality railroads or radios, is they're not locked on the railroad channels. And I'm only going off of stories I've heard, but I've heard that the railroad police and the FCC are really short on wanting to hear explanations, and if they've gotten talk about, or if they've gotten, word of crosstalk on the railroad channels and they see you with one of those speaker mics hanging on you, then they're going to automatically assume it's you, and you're going to go for a ride. So probably a good idea to go ahead and just disable the transmit for your own sake, just so you don't get in trouble. And these things are pretty cheap. I mean, like you can see there, it's only $19. Radiality makes them, Baofeng makes them, but yeah. And I mean, it's not quite the same as one of these Radio Shack or MFJ ones, but I mean, you can clip them to like your shirt near your shoulder and you can hear them pretty well. But yeah, so anyway, I know this is kind of a long video, but just wanted to show you the different radios and speaker mics you can use. So this is Joey from Class J Video Productions, and I'll see you on the next Railfan trip. Happy St. Patrick's Day, and thanks for watching.